Welcome back to ERU, the show where we round up the biggest games around European football. This week, Doogie Critchley is off, so it's myself and Mr. Sam Abasaki. How's it going, mate?
I'm good, bro. Buzzing after weekend results. Obviously, Chelsea doing our thing, as usual. And I'm sure you're happy as well with United. Not even last minute winner, just winning after coming from behind every game.
Yeah, I mean, first halves just don't exist anymore, do they? They're just like,
It don't matter.
They don't matter.
To you,
No,
United fans
just
anymore.
start. I'm just going to start watching from 45 minutes now because there's just no point. But we're focusing on a real thriller to begin with this week.
Yeah, man.
This one comes back from @Neil Coelho 1. Winners for the weekend. Apparently, winners because, they've maintained their 2-point lead at the top. It's Bayern Munich, Sam.
Yeah, man. Like you said, they've maintained their 2-point lead at the top, and it was over the team that they were facing. Obviously, RB Leipzig are 2 points behind them, and it was a fiery game. Obviously, Bayern Munich came back from 1-0 down and then 3-2 down. Hansi Flick will kind of be looking at his team a bit sideways because this is the fourth time that they've had to come back from 1-0 down. But he'll also be delighted with the result, especially the fact that 17-year-old Musiala, is it Musiala?
Musiala, I think, yeah.
Musiala, I've heard a few different variations, but yeah, he scored another goal coming off the bench after 25 minutes. That shows the trust that Hansi Flick has got in him. Yeah, brilliant finish. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. And then obviously Thomas Müller, the machine, scored 2 goals as well, so he'll definitely be delighted with that one. But before that, Nkunku, he's been balling for Leipzig recently. He rounded Neuer. Obviously, you always know Neuer's going to come out. He's going to be rushing out. He rounded him perfectly. Still had a little bit of pressure on him, but he scored. But aside from that, Musiala is the one that is obviously going to get all the plaudits. At such a young age, he's having such an impact at Bayern Munich already. He scored 3 goals in just 210 Bundesliga minutes. That's 7 appearances and 1 start. And he's currently averaging 3 shots and 4.7 dribbles per 90. Obviously, he's only played a few minutes, but still, that is very good. Obviously, he was born in Germany to a Nigerian father. Come on, you can see the Nigerian blood in him. But he moved to England at a young age, joining Chelsea's academy. Kind of gutted that we let him go, but it's understandable. Going to Bayern Munich to get first team minutes is always going to be tempting. While some of the defending for Flick's side was a bit questionable, you do kind of see them left wide open. In Nkunku's goal, he literally had a run from the halfway line, and for Forsberg's goal as well, the defending in the box wasn't great. Flick will still be delighted with his attacking output. They've now scored 34 goals in 10 league games, Mikey. Like that is a madness. That's one more than PSG have scored in 3 more games. So obviously we can see that they're doing a madness going forward.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty mad, isn't it? And compared to the rest of the league as well, even when you look at Dortmund and Leipzig, who have also got very good attacking records, like Bayern are just so far ahead. That's like 3.4 goals a game. Going at the kind of pace, I think even maybe slightly better than what they were doing last season. But like you said, the defending, I do really think they need to sort that out, especially if they're going to challenge in the Champions League as well. Because for that Forsberg goal, what was Boateng and Sula, was it? How did he evade both of those 2 players, and how was no one from the midfield even tracking him? It just seemed very odd, real kind of Sunday League stuff. No offence to Sunday League, but because I know, Sam, you're a big Sunday League aficionado. But anyway, let's move on to RB Leipzig, because it was probably a bit of a missed opportunity for Julian Nagelsmann. I think that would have been their second win ever against Bayern at their 11th attempt. But he will still be pleased with the display, I think. They only had 39% of the ball, but they carved out 7 opportunities, 4 shots on target. That was to Bayern's 9 and 5, so they also limited them to a certain extent. The finishing from both sides was just exceptional, I guess, and obviously Bayern's defending not great, but the XG had it at 1.6 to 1 in Leipzig's favour, actually. So yeah, in some ways, I think Nagelsmann will be very happy with that performance, despite not getting those 3 points. Angelino continued his magnificent run of form with an assist for Forsberg's header. He now has 6 goals and 4 assists in 15 League and Champions League games this term. Justin Kluivert as well bagged his first Bundesliga goal on just his second start. He was otherwise pretty ineffective though. Zero dribbles, 0 key passes, just the 1 shot, although it was an excellent finish in his 78 minutes on the pitch. So hopefully we'll see the youngster kick on from there. As for Bayern, Kingsley Coman was awesome, wasn't he? 2 shots, 3 key passes, all of which led to goals. Now has 5 goals and 7 assists in 11 League and Champions League games this term. Really happy to see the Frenchman pick up a kind of run of form like this. I think last season he was threatening to kind of show us what he's been threatening to show us for years, hasn't he? Since that Champions League final, he's just really kicked on, hasn't he? So great to see that from Coman. Man of the match, though, has to be Thomas Müller, doesn't it? 2 tackles and interceptions, 2 aerial duels, 2 key passes, 2 shots, 2 goals. So involved in every element of play. He's averaging a goal contribution every 73 league minutes this term. So a big part of why Bayern have been so prolific in the early months of the season. Next up for them, they host Lokomotiv Moscow on Wednesday in the Champions League. RB Leipzig have that massive face-off against Man United tomorrow night, currently level on points with United and PSG in that group. Make sure you're watching the Champions League on Tuesday night, because it could be one of those ones where it changes throughout the evening. Exactly what the Champions League is all about, and I believe myself and Joe will be doing a UCL review of that on Tuesday night. So make sure you stay tuned on Eurofootball Daily tomorrow night for that. Let's move on to our losers.
So before we move on to our losers, this is just a reminder to subscribe and hit the notification bell to never miss a video on EFD. But our losers is coming in from Spain. And I can't lie, it's a team that I love a lot, Barcelona, and this is from @false9roll. Mikey, what happened, man?
Yeah, just when we thought maybe they were going to turn a corner, once again, Barcelona mess it up. They fell on 12 points now behind Atletico Madrid and 6 behind Real after a 2-1 loss away at newly promoted Cadiz. It's their first defeat to them since 1991. Which was actually, during a pretty golden era for Barcelona. So I don't know what happened there. Any Barca historians, let us know in the comments below what happened back on that fateful day. Anyway, the Blaugrana had gone into this game in pretty good form, like we said. They'd won 6 of their last 7 games. They scored 18 goals in 6 games since the start of November. So yeah, it really looked like Ronald Koeman was starting to make things work a little bit at the camp now. But they were victims of their own downfall here. 21-year-old centre-back Oscar Mingueza slipped at a corner, almost headed in an OG. I don't know what the thinking was there. I think he was positioned all wrong to begin with, to be honest. So yeah, that allowed Jimenez to tap in after 8 minutes, and then Longley and ter Stegen both made horrendous errors from that Alba throw-in, allowing former Man City striker Alvaro Negredo to tap in. Really don't know what was going on there. 2 very experienced defensive players there. I think Langley probably has to take the most of the blame for that, but ter Stegen afterwards, I can get, he probably wasn't prepared, but yeah, awful from both of them.
You just have to clear it, innit? You just have to clear it.
And I guess it's a little bit, maybe a little bit kind of symptomatic of the slight defensive crisis Barcelona have at the moment. Obviously, Mingueza only promoted from the B team in the last couple of weeks, so I mean, still no excuse, but yeah, very symptomatic of the kind of defensive issues that Barcelona are facing at the moment. Despite having 82% possession and 21 shots with 8 on target, that's versus 7 and 3 on target for Cadiz, Barcelona deserved to lose. They gave up countless opportunities, like we said, and yeah, on the counter, they looked pretty vulnerable as well. XG actually had it at 2.6 to 1.7 in Cadiz's favour. That's a lot of XG to be giving up against a side which have been impressed at points this season, but certainly not an attacking powerhouse. And Koeman has very few options to change in his defence, like we were saying. They're facing a bit of a crisis at the moment. Both Umtiti and Piqué are injured. Piqué in particular is a big miss. Obviously, Umtiti has been kind of out for the whole season so far. The latter's not expected to be out until February. Piqué, that is. Ansu Fati and Sergi Roberto are also out. There are a few issues facing Koeman at the moment. One positive was probably Lionel Messi's performance. One of his best of the season, I'd say. He created 2 chances, completed 9 dribbles, fired off 10 shots with 5 on target. So he was really doing all the work for Barcelona. But from what I saw in the highlights, never really troubled Cadiz that much, I don't think. They really struggled to carve out those clear-cut opportunities. I think a very deserved loss for them. But yeah, great result for Cadiz, Sam.
Yeah, man, big win against, obviously, Barcelona giants. This is a big win for Cadiz and their manager, Alvaro Carrera. Obviously, they were promoted in July, and they've already beaten Athletic Club, Real Madrid and Barcelona. They're now sitting 5th at the time of writing, at 4 points clear of Barca. So I can't lie, it's not getting this is it might be the peak of their season if it all goes well, but they're now 7 points clear of relegation, also having conceded just 13 goals, the 10th best record in the league. They now have an excellent chance of staying in the division. Their left back also, Alfonso Espino, was excellent, completing 7 tackles and interceptions. Their best player was probably their keeper, Ledesma, who was forced into making 8 saves. That's always good against Barcelona. It's always going to give them confidence as well. For Barcelona, Coutinho was particularly disappointing. 0 tackles and interceptions, 0 dribbles, 1 key pass, 1 shot, missing an open goal from a tight angle, obviously, but still not a great game. Sergino Dest was kind of their bright spark. He made 3 tackles and interceptions, 3 dribbles, 1 key pass, 1 shot. He did have the one shot he did have. You could say he should have finished it, but it was obviously on his weaker foot. But next up for Barca, they have Juve. The 2 goats go head to head, so that's going to be a big game for both sides. They need a point just to secure top spot, and then they're hosting Levante next weekend. So Koeman needs to get a run of games going again. He can't be doing this for Barcelona side. Atletico Madrid at the top. They're sitting to, I don't know what, Mikey. It's just not going well for Koeman. What do you reckon he needs to do, man?
It's hard to know what he needs to do. I think, I think the injuries haven't been too kind to him. I think defensively that's going to be an issue. That's going to continue to be an issue. But yeah, it's tough to know at this stage because he's experimented a lot with that lineup, hasn't he? It looked like he was onto a bit of a winner. It looked like Griezmann was even coming into some form in the last few weeks, wasn't it? In that number 10 role. It's hard to say at the moment, but I'm sure if this run carries on, we'll be discussing it on Continental Club. Right now it seems like he just needs to stick with the players he knows are performing best. It's hard to when many of them are playing so inconsistently. But I think shore up that midfield as well, because I'm not so convinced by that De Jong and Busquets partnership which came back for this game. I think he needs to probably switch that up. If there's an area of the team he does need to switch up, I think it's that one. Barcelona are losers. Let's move on to our star of the week. So we had to pick our star of the week this week. Unfortunately, everyone who replied to Doogie's tweet suggested either Thomas Muller or Kingsley Coman as their star of the week. Obviously, we've spoken about them both at varying length already. So we've chosen Juan Cuadrado, Sam. Why is that?
Yeah, the 32-year-old created both of the goals that Juve scored in their 2-1 win against Torino, and a late winner for Bonucci, which was a brilliant cross. Literally found him from just outside of the box, and it was definitely a good finish from Bonucci as well. But aside from that, the Colombian was absolutely excellent. He had 3 tackles and interceptions, 5 dribbles, 4 key passes, 1 shot and 2 assists, also having a goal ruled out for the lit being offside. And it's one of those questionable ones where it's the players running from an offside position, isn't really in the way of the keeper, but the ref obviously saw it in Torino's favour. But this season he now has 7 assists in 13 league appearances and UCL games this season, 1 more than he managed for the entire season last year. So he's definitely on the rise, and Juve are looking like they keep on scraping these wins, Mikey.
Yeah, I didn't realise he had as many as 7 assists. That's seriously impressive stuff. Going at over an assist every 2 games. That's seriously elite. Juve needs to keep him in this form because they've been far from perfect this term, haven't they? They've struggled a little bit to get over the line in some games. 5 draws from their opening 10 Serie A matches. That's why they're in the position they are in now. But they've only lost one of their 15 fixtures today in all competitions. That was that 2-0 against Barca. Remain unbeaten in the league, so that's really what's been keeping them in the title race. This win keeps them fourth in the table. They're just 1 point behind Inter Milan, but they are 6 behind leaders AC now. So there is a bit of ground to make up already, but they're still very much in the mix. Expected points suggest that that's a fairly fair position as well. That rates them at second best behind Inter in Italy. So perhaps we can expect to see results picking up a little bit more. I'm not sure. I think that first half performance in this game was pretty disappointing. They did pick up in the second half, but there clearly is a lot of work to be done for Pirlo's side. Only Inter and Milan and Napoli have scored more than their 20 league goals to date, and no team has actually conceded fewer than their 8. So at least they're looking defensively more solid. That was a big worry for me earlier in the season. I think especially after that Roma game, in which they looked very, very vulnerable on the break. They seem to have shored things up on the defensive end, which is good to see. So they look in okay shape. They don't look like favourites still for me for the title, but Juve do often produce the goods towards the end of the season, so we'll see how that goes. But let us know your thoughts on Juve in the comments below. Do you see them as favourites for the Serie A title, or do you think it's going to be one of the Milan clubs? Could you see Napoli even causing an upset as well? Let us know your thoughts. And that's all we have time for on ERU this week. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave us a like if you did enjoy the video, and of course subscribe to EuroFootball Daily if you haven't done so already. Oba, where should they go next?
If you're on Snapchat, go check out the Snapchat stories. We upload them every day. We need to talk on Snapchat, and it's normally the stories that you don't really find on our YouTube. So if you're there, go check us out. I'm there.
Yeah, sweet. Go and check out all the other stuff on EuroFootball Daily as well. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Peace.